guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to bring you a tag video because, like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of tags. I'm not reading. And this tag was created by Maddie over at The Book Pusher. I will leave that video linked down below. She's also the original creator of this tag, which is awesome because I think this is the first time I've ever done a tag video where it's directly from the creator, not one that's like been done a bunch of times. So that's pretty cool. And this tag is called the Spooky Would You Rather tag. Now I've got the questions on my phone, so I will be looking down. I have not read these questions ahead of time. I watched her video, but I didn't take notes, go, what would my answer be? So yeah, this is pretty informal. But without further ado, let's get into it. So question number 1 is thrillers or supernaturals? I don't know if this means movies or books. I'm gonna assume books because we're on BookTube. I prefer supernatural elements in my books. I don't really like thrillers. I don't know what it is about them. They don't interest me that much. It's the same with movies too. I would rather have just elements of magic, even if it's not just straight up magic, but it's supernatural creatures like vampires, werewolves. I would rather have that than just some crazy dude chasing and murdering women. That doesn't interest me as much. It doesn't scare me as much, and I guess with those kind of movies, I watch them to be frightened. Question number 2 is ghost or zombies? This one's difficult. I've watched a lot of zombie movies, and I've read quite a bit of zombie books. I haven't really read many ghost movies. I haven't read many ghost books, but I've watched a lot of ghost movies. So, I don't know. I think I prefer ghosts because there's more you can do with ghosts. I haven't read any books that are like this, but I've watched quite a few ghost movies where the ghosts are there. It's not focused on the fact that the ghosts are there. It's not a haunting movie, but the ghosts are just kind of there doing their thing. I really enjoy those movies because it's something different with the genre. You don't really get that with zombies. You either get zombies are just eating people, they've taken over the world, it's the start of the outbreak. It's pretty much the same thing. It's very formulaic. I just find that you can do more with ghosts, and as a result, I like ghost things better. Question number 3 is vampires or werewolves, and I 100% prefer werewolves, and I think that's not because I like werewolves and the lore and the creature better. I think it's just because vampires are so overdone. Basically, once Twilight hit the scene, it was vampires this, vampires that. And there are very good vampire books. You've got Salem's Lot, you've got the original Dracula. There's a lot of good vampire books. However, there's just so many of them. I feel like werewolf stuff is harder to do. The lore isn't quite so fleshed out around the creatures. You just don't really get as many well done werewolf things, and I think also a lot of that comes down to, at least with movies, is that you either have to do practical effects or CG. For practical effects, they usually always look bad, and CG, unless you have a really high budget, it's also gonna look bad. So, if you're looking for a good werewolf movie, however, Ginger Snaps is fantastic. Question number 4 is witches or demons? I honestly think I like witches better. You don't see them as often. There's magic in things. I read a lot of books with magic in them, but very few books actively define the magic users as witches or warlocks, and I think that's kind of a shame because I really like the idea of it, and I like it when witches aren't extremely only evil, occult, that kind of thing. Just for example, Harry Potter, they're witches and wizards, but they're not devil worshippers, if that makes sense. I wish there was more like that as opposed to witches being we're a witch, we're just pure evil. Question number 5 is would you rather read a book with 13 chapters or a book with a black cat on the cover? Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a superstitious person at all. I don't believe in fearing the number 13. I don't believe that breaking mirrors give you bad luck. I don't fear black cats walking under ladders. So I guess if I had to choose one, I would probably pick the black cat just because chances are there's a black cat or a cat in the book, and I really like cats. So question number 6, I think, is that what we're on? This is only 5. Imagine my hand, one of those fingers is up. Question number 6 is would you rather read a spooky book in a dark room lit only by a candle, or in a brightly lit room but you're locked in there and you're by yourself? I think that was it. Movies don't really scare me, but books do. I think it's because I have such an active imagination that when I'm seeing something described, basically my mind will make it the worst possible thing that would scare me. I think reading by candlelight would be worse, so I guess I'd do the brightly lit room, because being alone or in a locked room doesn't bother me. In fact, I'd rather be in a locked room because I know nothing can come in the door and get me. But reading by just candlelight, first off, that's atmospheric as hell. Second off, it's probably going to hurt my eyes. Third, it's creepy. You're in the dark. I'd rather not read spooky things in the dark if I can help it. Question number 7 is, would you rather face your worst fear or be trapped in the mind of a killer? This is a difficult question. Am I permanently trapped in the killer's mind? I don't know. If I'm not permanently trapped in the killer's mind, I guess I'd rather be in there than face my worst fear. Because first off, I can't even really tell you what my worst fear is, but I know it's probably not good. And then the killer's mind, I'm always really fascinated by things like by murder stories and things like that. What made the person do what they did? So I do enjoy murder mysteries for that aspect. I just, like I talked about previously, the whole thriller side of things doesn't really affect me, so I don't seek those books out. However, I am always interested in why the murderer in the story is doing what they're doing. So I guess I would be interested, but like if I'm never going to be able to leave their mind, I guess I'd rather face my worst fear, because at least I can get that over with. That was like the most non-committal answer, and I'm going to stick with it. Question number 8 is, would you rather watch a scary movie or read a scary book? And if I'm actively looking to be frightened, like I want that rush of adrenaline that like I can't turn off the lights, it would 100% have to be read a scary book. Like I mentioned before, there's something about reading, and I'm sure this is not just exclusive to me, I'm sure all of you know what I'm talking about, where when you see a scene or a creature described, your mind is automatically going to warp it and imagine it in the way that would scare you individually the most. Whereas a movie, it's a little more cut and dry, this is the way it is. Your mind can't really interpret that however it wants, it is just, you're seeing what is displayed in front of you, the way the director decided to make the scene go. And so books get to me more when it comes to being scared. Question number 9 is, would you rather read spooky books during the fall or all year long? Probably during the fall. Like, I would like to have the choice to read them all year long, but there's something so atmospheric about reading a spooky book when the leaves are falling, when it's colder outside, when there's pumpkins everywhere, and like, I don't know if it's this way where you guys live, but a lot of times during the fall it's very gloomy and kind of miserable outside. That sets the scene for a spooky book, and it just feels more right to read a spooky book during fall, so I would probably say that. Question number 10 is, would you rather read 10 spooky books in October or just 10 spooky books all year long? So I'm going to completely contradict myself with what I said in the previous one, where I like to keep spooky books for the fall. And that is, if I had the choice of only being able to read 10 scary books a year, I don't think I would want to push them all in October, just because when you're reading those kind of stories back to back to back, by the 10th one you're like, whatever, I've been through this, I'm not scared. If you space them out, at least for the last few months of the year, you're going to be probably affected by each book more. I just feel like you're going to get more out of the experience of reading 10 spooky books if you're not doing it back to back to back to back. Alright, so that was the last question and the spooky would you rather book tag. I'm going to tag, who am I going to tag? I'm going to tag Cat in Hand from Brews and Reviews, I'm going to tag Victoria from Books and Things, and I'm going to tag Robin from Birdie Reads. I will leave all of their channels linked down below. Like always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!